How's it going, BCHL fans? Ian Wilson alongside Francois Devilliers of the Brooks Bandits, another edition of the BCHL Podcast, an opportunity to get to know the players while the skates are off. Of course, we see what they do on the ice, but it's always nice to learn a bit about off the ice as well, too. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. Tell us a bit about your earliest memories of hockey. Like, who was it that shoved you on the ice for the first time? Where'd you play growing up? All that good stuff.
Yeah, so I started playing roller hockey, inline hockey in California. My first coach, Scott Aconjo, kind of instilled in me the desire to play Division I college hockey, and I'm blessed to have that opportunity to have a commitment to the Air Force Academy. And I took my roller hockey expertise to the ice, and from there on, I just fell in love with the game even more. And I played junior ducks growing up, and then I went to Culver Academy, and that's where I really learned a junior style game because they emphasize mature hockey, and they're very systematic with how they do everything. And obviously the off-ice components of that academy is just phenomenal. So, the whole person development really set the stage for my junior success. Fantastic.
Do you keep up with the roller hockey? Do you do that a lot in the summertime in the off season?
I try to, but I haven't had enough time to do that. But, sometimes there's the Narch tournament. I'd really like to take part in that. So,
heck yeah. How's that treated you in the past?
Good. Growing up, we were normally the champions.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah.
Heck yeah. You talk about growing up playing hockey in California, the Junior Ducks, Culver Academy, and kind of learning the ropes down there. Now that you've shifted up to Canada, how has the culture around hockey? We've seen throughout the years that hockey is continuing to grow in popularity down in the States. More big Americans coming up and making it in the NHL. I think about guys like Austin Matthews, and all of those guys that have followed thereafter. It continues to be a bigger and bigger sport. But now that you've come up to the Great White North, how has the aura around it maybe shifted?
Yeah, I had no idea how passionate they actually were. I knew they were passionate about hockey, but this is a whole nother level. In the States, they've passion towards football and basketball, all that stuff. But here it's hockey, and they bleed hockey.
Was there ever another sport? Down in the States, you mentioned those different sports that are very, very popular. Did you ever have another sport that you were playing alongside hockey before the paths diverged and you had to choose one or the other?
Yeah, there was a little bit of soccer and tennis in there, but hockey was always my first love. So, it was not a hard choice.
What was kind of your first introduction to hockey? Is there a hockey history in your family?
There is zero hockey history in my family. My parents are from South Africa.
Okay.
So we had no idea what sport to put myself in when I was that age. But we had family friends that played roller hockey, and my parents decided to put me in, give it a try, and they saw my eyes light up, and we went there.
No, half the time that's what it is. It's the joy, right?
Yeah.
A lot of players lose that through the years, but you seem to have kept on finding that as your games progress through the levels. For you, how do you kind of keep the love of the game alive as you've gotten older and playing hockey?
Yeah, sometimes it does get hard. The game's really hard, but, positive self-talk and really making sure you're there for your teammates, and, trying to find the little joys in every day, and the daily grind is what makes you keep going. And obviously knowing your end goal. You got to have goals to have joy in this game.
Yeah. What are some of the end goals for you? Obviously, it goes without saying, lots of people want hockey to go absolutely as far as it can possibly go. But there's always going to be other things as well, too, like career goals, aspirations, education, things like that. What are some of your goals beyond your 20-year-old junior season?
Yeah, I'm excited to be part of the Air Force Academy because they'll put me in a position to succeed in all aspects of life. If pro hockey is that avenue, then so be it. If it's a degree and maybe if it's pilot, they have so many things to offer there, and I'm so excited to be part of that school.
Fantastic, man. Let's talk about Francois Devilliers away from the rink. I know there's not a lot of time where you guys get away from the rink. Junior hockey is very demanding as far as the time commitment. But if you have an off day or you're just have an opportunity to spend a bit of time on your hobbies, what are some of the things we can find you doing?
So I play music, so I'm a piano player.
Hey.
I don't have a piano at my billet house at the moment. So I just spend a lot of time with the kids at the house, and I really love my billet family. They're awesome. I go to their hockey games and I help them practice, and it's just a great setup I have over there.
How old are the other billet kids? What level are they playing at right now?
Yeah, they're playing youth hockey right now. They're 9, 11, and 13.
That's so awesome. And being a big billet brother is a pretty cool experience. We're talking with Gavin Rocha as well, too, about kind of what that meant to him. What does that mean to you to have that kind of big billet brother experience?
It's good to be a role model, to have little kids look up to you. they're kind of like my cousins now, so it's really fun to hang out with them. And you don't always need to be the teacher, but it's always good to have a role of you're a junior hockey player and they look up to you. So it's good to do that.
You talked about playing piano. How long have you been playing piano?
I've been playing since I was 5 years old. I've been classically trained since I was 13, but I went to prep school and stopped that. So.
Have you ever tickled the ivories for the boys? Like, have you guys ever had some hotels will have a piano in the lobby or something? Have you ever got to show the guys that, or do a lot of them know?
Yeah, I don't think many guys on Brooks know yet, but in the past, I've tickled the ivory. Yeah.
There you go. What would you describe? What would you say is probably one of the most technical pieces that or in alternative to that, your favorite piece that you know how to play?
I'm a big Beethoven guy. The Moonlight Sonata first movement.
Yeah.
That's my favorite piece I've done. I've dabbled a little bit in Bach and Mozart. But Beethoven takes the cake.
Yeah. We're gonna patch that audio over when you put that answer in, right?
Looking forward to it.
The power of video editing, I love it, man. What are some of the other things? So piano, doing the music, working with the billet families, anything else, or is that kind of the two main things that take up your time?
Yeah, I go to church every Sunday, and I like to do Bible study with a couple guys on the team. Hopefully, we can get started up with that soon. And I like to build my faith as well. So.
What are some of the ways, are there any ways that you practice your faith specifically within the sport? Like in my days doing different play-by-play with different teams, I've seen guys that have little rituals after the game or things they do before they get on the ice. Is there anything in particular for you?
Yeah, I try to read the Bible every night, book or chapter of the book every night. Yep. And, I do my journaling every night, and I also do my daily prayers.
You've joined this Brooks Bandits team for your 20-year-old season, coming over from the Null. Is there maybe a bit of extra pressure, a bit of extra expectation? Because you're joining this organization that has just won it all last season, and I would imagine that they're expecting to try and do the same once again. The Brooks Bandits name carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, there's no pressure at all for me. I try to be my best every day, night in, night out, and that's what Brooks really wants out of their players, and I'm glad to be part of a culture that brings out the best in everyone. So it's no pressure, it's just all fun. And, I'm really happy to be part of this organization.
That's awesome. It's very glad to hear that. They empower you guys to kind of be the best version of yourself. And one of the ways that we've seen you do that as well as we think about kind of offensive defensemen. And we've seen that with the numbers when you look at the minor hockey into your early days in junior. And so what would you say from your eyes as an offensive D-man, or at least a defender, two-way guy that knows how to put the puck in the net? What's one of the most important things to kind of master on that offensive side of the puck if you're a D-man?
Yeah, so as a defenseman, I take a lot of pride in the D zone first, but once that rush is available, I'm on it and willing to take that rush.
Yeah.
And I want to join that rush. I want to shoot pucks, be an offensive threat. It's all about positioning and, using your voice out there and having your forwards trust you.
100%. What were some of the players that you idolized growing up? And are they the same guys that you look at now, or has that changed a little bit as you've matured in hockey?
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I was really into Sidney Crosby. I'm a defenseman, but I was really into Sidney Crosby. I loved his 200-foot game. And, obviously the new guys like Cale Makar, Miro Heiskanen, Roman Josi, all those guys. I loved watching them growing up.
Yep.
They're really electric and very fun to watch. But I like to see my game kind of model after Charlie McAvoy or Brock Faber. They're really responsible in the D zone, but they also have that potency in the offensive zone.
Yeah, that two-way game, you've talked about it a few different times. So for you as a D-man, especially one that can do it on both ends of the ice, is it what for you is maybe the moments in a game that get you the most pumped up? Is it scoring a big goal, blocking a big shot? For you, what's something that just gets you ready to go like nothing else in the game of hockey?
I think if it's a 3-2 game, we're up with 1 minute left in the game, that really gets me going. A lot of guys don't have the mental fortitude to really last in the last minute, but I really dig up that last minute pressure, and I just want to give it to the other team and get that win.
100%. Last thing I got for you, man, is if you had to give a piece of advice, you talked a little bit about your mentorship of the youngsters with your billet family, but if Francois Devilliers is giving a piece of advice to just any young kid, whether it's somebody, a rookie in junior or a kid stepping out of the ice for the first time, what would be your piece of advice to help them with their journey getting to the next level?
don't lose your love for the game and always work hard. You don't know what hard work takes. You got to put your blood, sweat, and tears if you really want to make your passion work, but also never lose your love for the game, and you got to ride the highs and lows.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me, man. You're a fantastic interview, I got to say.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
How's it going, BCHL fans? Ian Wilson alongside Tai Ushio of the Prince George Spruce Kings. Another edition of the BCHL Podcast. Tai, thank you very much for joining me for a chat today.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Prince George Spruce Kings, your 20-bomb season, 2005 born.
Yep.
And welcome to the league, first and foremost. Happy to have you with us here. And you've been off to a pretty hot start so far. What's the transition been like coming to the BCHL?
I've known the BCHL since when I was 13, 14. I've heard it, and I've watched the BCHL games a lot when I was in Kelowna a few years ago. And then, just been an exciting season. Prince George. I knew the Japanese player from Prince George. Yep, Kazmo, and the new players are great. It's been great. I loving it.
Awesome. I mean, so hockey, it's not necessarily super duper high up on the list of popular sports in Japan. And like born in Hokkaido, how did you end up coming to get involved in this sport and growing to love it as much as you have?
So I started playing hockey since when I was 3 years old. I had older brothers and stuff and like that. And then the first time I came to North America was when I was 12. Joined to a Quebec tournament, PV Quebec tournament, and then that was the first time, stepping on the ice in Canada in front of the 100 fans, and that's first time being in Canada. And then after that, I was like, I want to take hockey seriously.
Yeah.
And after that, then I was talking to my advisor, and then got the spot in Kelowna, played there a couple of years, and it just happened. Ended up here.
And the rest is history. And along the way, you've had some pretty incredible moments. If you talk about taking hockey seriously, as far as people that know and love the sport, there's not too many things more serious than the World Juniors. And you have the opportunity to captain Team Japan at the World Juniors. Talk to us about that experience.
Yeah, no, it was great. It's always a pleasure to play for your country, and then wearing your logo is always pleasure and awesome. But being the captain was super, super fun. And then, you only get to do it once or twice in your life, being the captain. So I took it seriously and then trying to win it. But unfortunately, we lost in the final game. But it is what it is. And then it was a fun time.
Yeah. And still, anytime you get an experience like that, it certainly is something you can build momentum off of. It's anytime you have a loss like that, you can either choose to be sad about it or to build from it, and clearly you guys have done that.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's the hockey game is win or lose, so you got to learn from your loss, right? And then we've been trying to do that a lot of it. Even Spruce Kings, we were 3-2 this year coming out to the showcase. We're trying to do films and then watch videos from our games from the past games. So it's been great.
Fantastic. What would you say has been maybe one of the most rewarding aspects of hockey for you? Everybody has different things that they've really enjoyed or appreciated. For you, what has that been?
Maybe winning a world championship with Team Japan on Division 1B. Yeah. It's just, it's not like you're playing against, top dogs like Team USA, Team Canada, and something like that, but still winning a tournament and then getting the gold medal with Team Japan was awesome. And then, try to do again for sure.
You mentioned a bit about your family and the athletic history of them. You talk about some brothers playing sport. Tell us a bit more about your family.
Yeah, so I have 2 older brothers. They're 28 and 26. They played hockey till they're all the way up till high school. Yep. And then, they're a little older than me, so they've been are my second dad, kind of. Yeah. And kind of just teaching me hockey, outside of hockey, teaching me how to just be a person, be a good person, And then I also have one older sister who's still playing hockey back in Japan, and then she's got to invited to Team Japan's women's team and stuff. So
wonderful.
Yeah, she's been amazing. She's like my closest siblings out of all of it, and then she's closest age as well for me. So she's been really fantastic for me, and then my mom and my dad.
Yeah. Do you and your sister usually train together?
We used to back in the day, but now like we just play in a different team, different level and stuff. So we kind of just get together once in a while, like and kind of thing. Yeah.
And so we'll talk a bit more about again this hockey culture in Japan. What is kind of the atmosphere around that like? Obviously, now being in Canada, you can see the fervor and the absolute just aura around hockey in North America and especially in Canada. But what is that like in Japan? I've certainly seen, especially with baseball and things like that, how passionate Japanese people are about sports. What's the hockey culture like over there?
Hockey, you said it. The hockey is a major sport back in Japan, like rather like soccer, baseball, right? But if there's professional team in Japan. It's called the Asia Hockey League, and then there's 5 teams in Japan, so they're still getting up there,
Wonderful.
But yeah.
What are some of the players growing up that you idolized, and some of the players that you look up to now? And has that changed over time as you've matured through the sport?
Yeah, definitely. When I was a kid, I watched a lot of Asian hockey players back in Japan. And
what were some of those players?
It's his name is Yushiro Hirano, which is how he plays in Germany Division 2 now, but he actually played in the Abbotsford Canucks for I think a year or two. And then I've been watching him, and then I got to practice with him this summer.
Wonderful.
And then he was just such a great skater. And right now the as a hockey player, the Japanese hockey player that who's got to be like closest to the NHL is his name's Tai Ushio, who played in Victoria last year in WHL. And he's just signed with AHL, the LA Kings. So that's kind of like who I look up to. And then like he's 1 year older than me, and then we know that like, and then like he practiced with me on Team Japan summer camp this year, and then that was the first time seeing him. And then I have so much to like steal from his like skills and stuff. So
wonderful.
It was awesome.
Fantastic. What is Taisetsu Ushio like away from the rink? What are some of the things that you do for your spare time, your hobbies, things like that?
I'm from countryside of Japan. There's like nothing as much to do other than hiking, fishing, like that. So
you're certainly getting spoiled with those two things in Prince George, Canada.
And then last year when I was in Alaska, they did some great like hunting and fishing as well. And then this year we've already done the hunting. Like with my billets, we went to go for a drive and then look for some deer and stuff. And then it's been awesome. I love doing fishing, like just outdoor things. And then love it.
What are your billet family like?
My billet dad loves hunting. So he kind of just goes to hunting like every week or kind of thing. So like I kind of just hop in with him and then the mom, I don't know what she like. She's good at cooking though. And then just the kids, they love playing hockey. They play hockey as well. Shout out to Lucas and then Carson Everett. They love playing hockey. We play mini sticks. And, just how the
Are you ruthless on the mini sticks? You give them a chance? Or?
No, I kind of give them a chance. They're still like young kids, so I kind of just give them a chance, and then But whatever he tried to chirp me, and and that's when the time like switch gets on, and I'm like, all right, it's time to go.
Time to respect your elders, kid.
Exactly.
You talked about the players that you looked up to, but I mean, again, as a player who's continuing in their development and has had a lot of success playing in the World Juniors, have you ever considered the fact or see yourself? I mean, you too now are becoming a role model to some of those younger Japanese hockey players. You're probably somebody that they look up to now too. You ever thought about that?
Yeah, I was 3 months back in Japan for the summer, and then got to skate with my old teammates, and then all around that. And then actually one time I was at a hockey rink watching some younger kids hockey game or something like that, and then this kid just came up to me and he was like, "Are you Tai Ushio?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." He was like, "Can I get you an autograph?" Aww. I'm like, "Wow, I got there." Yeah. I just felt amazing, just because it just never happened like that in Japan. So, it's really like awesome to, get my name out there, even in Japan, even though I'm playing in Canada or US.
Yep.
It's really good to see like Japan's like getting bigger at hockey and sports as well. But just being there for me, like, just let the kids play hockey back in Japan, that's what I'm trying to do. One of my goals. Sure.
Wonderful. Last thing I got for you, because I know you got a schedule to keep to, is what would be Taisetsu Ushio's piece of advice to those young kids that are looking to develop their game, get to the next level here at the Junior A or beyond? What would be your piece of advice to them?
The best advice, work hard, but there's no easy path and a shortcut. So all you got to do is just grind it out. There's no shortcut, just like I said. And then, if you had to pick your hard way, you got to pick that way.
Yep.
And then there's no easy way.
No easy way.
Yep.
Well, you've certainly not taken the easy path, and we commend you for it. We're happy to have you as a part of the league and excited to see where things go for you from here.
Thank you.
Taisetsu, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.